Welcome, dear friends. This is a very relevant topic in the sense that this topic has wide applications in industry. The topic is about solving the problems using the first law of thermodynamics as applied to steady flow systems. We said that steady flow system approximation is valid for a number of engineering applications, be it boilers, be it steam turbines, be it compressors, condensers, evaporators. You name any heat exchanger, you name any energy conversion devices, and those energy conversion devices can be analyzed using the first law of thermodynamics using a very powerful tool called as steady flow energy equation. Steady flow energy equation is valid only if the approximation can be made regarding the steady state conditions. And by steady state conditions, we said that the properties should not vary much with respect to time. So the objective of this present lecture is to help you with one or two problems, understand how the problems are solved using the first law of thermodynamics, either for the devices which absorb power like compressors or the devices which produce power like say steam turbines or some devices which are merely heat exchangers or heat producing devices like boilers. I had taken three examples, and these three examples are chosen such that you get a feel of it. For actual real life examples, the approximations which I am making, okay, they need to be revised. For example, here a typical problem involving an industrial boiler is given. What you see over here is an industrial boiler, and the industrial boiler, we are the real life engineering problem is we must be in a position to understand what is the thermal output or thermal duty of this boiler. In other words, we are concerned about how much heat is being transferred in the boiler, and when it is given that a boiler has a certain feed water entering at a certain temperature and it produces steam at a certain pressure, right? So with this understanding that you have input conditions like the steam is entering here, for example, at 40 degrees centigrade, steam is leaving this boiler at say 7 bar, right? And it can be obtained, the enthalpies can be obtained using steam tables. So that is not our problem presently, that as to how to refer to the steam tables. You just say that we can get the enthalpy values by looking at the steam temperature, steam pressure, water temperature, like this. Okay, so in this case, let us say that we are sure that the water is entering at this steam generator at 40 degrees centigrade. So its enthalpy is calculated as specific heat into 40, that is 4.19 into 40, which comes approximately 168 kilojoules per kg. Okay, so this is the enthalpy or heat content of feed water, and it emerges out at a higher enthalpy. Obviously, it emerges out at a higher enthalpy, and that enthalpy is found from the steam tables when the pressure is given and the temperature is given. Okay, so that in this problem, because it is a simple level problem, uh, just to explain you the concepts, it is directly given that the enthalpy of the steam is 2570. Okay, so the output enthalpy is given, input enthalpy is given. So the delta H, the enthalpy difference, is the gain in this boiler. Okay, and if you multiply this with the steam generation rate of the boiler, how much steam is being generated by this boiler, what you get is the net boiler heat transfer. Okay, so here it's very simple. What we have done is that we have approximated the steady flow energy equation for the boiler as dq by dt is equal to m dot delta H. You know that boiler does not produce any work, and we are neglecting other losses. We are neglecting the changes in kinetic energy and potential energy. So the steady flow energy equation, the generalized steady flow energy equation for the boiler becomes dq by dt is equal to m dot into delta H. And delta H is nothing but the difference in the enthalpy. And what is that difference? It is the enthalpy of the steam which is being generated, which is 2570, minus the enthalpy of the feed water which is entering the boiler, which is 167.6. Okay, that multiplied by the steam generation rate. It is a 10 ton per hour boiler. So 10 tons means 10 into 1000 kgs upon 3600, just to convert that kgs to second, kgs per second. From tons per hour, I am converting this to kgs per second. So that comes to 2.78. So 2.78, that is in kgs per second. Enthalpy is in kilojoules per kg. Enthalpy of feed water is also in kilojoules per kg. That So kilojoules per kg into kgs per second becomes kilojoules per second or kilowatts. So the approximate net boiler heat transfer, okay, can be obtained by using a very, very powerful equation, namely the steady flow energy equation, right? So that is one of the important application that one can find the thermal output of the boiler using the steady flow energy equation. This next important question is about a steam turbine, which is a power producing device. Now, power producing device, you know that in all the thermal power plants, we come across these steam turbines. In the gas turbine power plants, we come to gas turbines, which are the prime movers. Okay, so how do you get to use the steady flow energy equation here? So again, when I'm using a steady flow energy equation for a steam turbine, what I'm doing is nothing but I'm applying the energy balance or first law of thermodynamics. The generalized steady flow energy equation for a steam turbine gets reduced to again a very simple equation, that is dW by dt is equal to m dot delta H. The enthalpy difference, the enthalpy of the steam which is entering is higher and the enthalpy of the steam which is leaving the steam turbine is lower, and that enthalpy drop in the steam turbine is utilized for generating power in the steam turbine power plants. This you need to understand it carefully. So what we must know is the quality of the steam entering the steam turbine. Let us say that in this problem it is given that a saturated steam at 10 bar with the enthalpy of 2780 kilojoules per kg is entering the turbine, and the steam gets expanded in the steam turbine and it leaves at a lower pressure and at a lower enthalpy. Okay, so with this we can calculate the enthalpy difference, 2780 minus 2700 into the steam flow rate, which I converted into kgs per second. As explained earlier, 10 into 1000 becomes kgs, divided by 3600 R becomes second, so 2.78 kgs per second. So this way what we have calculated is the steam turbine power output. So it comes to about 220 kilojoules per second or 220 kilowatts, right? So again, by simply knowing the properties of the steam at the inlet of the turbine and by knowing the properties of the steam at the exit of the turbine, one can estimate, it's very powerful to learn, mind well, one can estimate the power output from a steam turbine. And how do we do that? Just by applying the reduced form of steady flow energy equation to a steam turbine. Another interesting problem, one might be interested in knowing how much is the electricity consumed by a compressor. Compressors you must have seen in the service stations. Okay, so one might be interested in knowing what is the electricity required, the power input for such a compressor. For knowing this, and from a thermodynamic perspective, one gets to know that by looking at the pressures, that is the pressure of the air entering the compressor and up to what bar pressure the compressor is compressing, one can get the power input of this compressor. For example, in this numerical, you see that the air is being compressed from 1 bar, that is suction pressure, up to the 7 bar, which is the discharge pressure, and it's an insulated compressor, such that its enthalpy increases by 170 kilojoules per kg. How do you find this enthalpy change? Just by referring to the property tables of gases. Okay, but for our present purpose, we are not interested in calculating the enthalpy at 1 bar and 7 bar. We assume that there is an increase in enthalpy, which is 170 kilojoules per kg. Mass flow rate of air can be easily calculated, and from that you see here the power input, you see the value is negative because it is a power absorbing device. So power input is calculated as m dot into delta H. Enthalpy difference is 170 kilojoules per kg and mass flow rate is 0.27 kgs per second. That product gives you an approximate power rating of this compressor, which is approximately 47 kilowatt or 50 kilowatts for that matter. So just by knowing how much the air is to be compressed from which bar to which bar, and by knowing how much air is, the quantity is required to be compressed, one can from the market purchase a motor for this compressor. So this is how the steady flow energy equation or the first law of thermodynamics is applied in real engineering life. Okay, so this and some such other problems, like for example, if you want to calculate the duty of the heat exchanger, meaning how much is the capacity of the heat exchanger, one can again use the steady flow energy equation in the form of dq by dt into mass flow rate into enthalpy difference. Okay, if the mass flow rate is expressed in kgs per second, if you are given that this heat exchanger has certain flow rate of water, and then that is expressed in kgs per second. And let us say if the water gets heated from some temperature to some temperature, and you can some way estimate its enthalpy at the inlet and outlet, then by knowing the enthalpy difference in kilojoules per kg and by knowing the mass flow rate in kgs per second, one can easily calculate what is the duty of the heat exchanger. Heat exchangers you come across in real engineering life, like in evaporators, condensers, right? All these major heat exchangers you can get just by knowing the inlet and exit enthalpy difference and knowing the mass flow rate. This is the wonder of steady flow energy equation. So steady flow energy equation, dear friends, is a very simple equation which we can use for solving engineering practical problems. What it is nothing but the application of first law of thermodynamics to the real engineering devices. If you are able to appreciate this, that this first law of thermodynamics has a very powerful tool, and I demonstrated using a boiler, using a compressor, using a heat exchanger. You can appreciate that if you learn the generalized steady flow energy equation, and if you learn how to use it to the practical problems, that would really be a real engineering. Thank you very much. Bye.